Good evening, sports fans, volleyball fans. Welcome to the Schaefer Center in Waxahachie, Texas, on the campus of Southwestern Assemblies of God University. And tonight we have a really big matchup. It's the battle for number one, for first place in the conference. Along my side tonight is Devin Webb, bringing some of the color commentating and expertise and knowledge base of volleyball to you and your set tops tonight, as well as Kristen Urban on the sidelines. And right now, Kristen's down with our very own Coach Hank Moore. Kristen, what's Coach Hank got to say?
Thanks, John. Coach Moore, you're off to your best start in school history. What do you attribute to so much success?
Well, we've got a great senior group of leaders, and our juniors are playing well. We brought in a really good group of freshmen that have made an impact.
Oklahoma City University is also 4-0 in conference play. What is your game plan to defeat them tonight?
Our plan tonight is for us to control the tempo. We're going to try to play a faster game, and hopefully that'll work in our favor.
Thanks, Coach Moore, and good luck tonight. Back to you, John and Devin. Thanks, John.
Thanks, Kristen and Coach Moore. Always an optimist, and but he's a realist, and he knows that Oklahoma City is no joke in the volleyball, well, in any sport really, but they always bring greatness to the volleyball court, and it's going to be a big match, very fun to watch. Tell us a little bit about what you know of Oklahoma City and what we're going to see tonight in the matchup.
Well, just watching their warm-ups, John, it's no question that this is going to be a tough contestant for the Lady Lions. Looking at their roster, they've got several players over 6 foot or right at 6 foot, so that is a huge front line. But you know, they run a pretty similar program to SAGU, and I think that you know, we've seen in multiple different matches, SAGU is able to play up to a really high level. And I know mentally they've been preparing for this match, and Coach Moore's really big on using matches that may not be as difficult of an opponent to get ready for a harder one. So the matches that we've seen the past couple of weeks that have seemed really easy for the Lady Lions, he's been using those as teaching moments for his bench in the event something happens where they're needing to be used. That way they're prepared all the way down the line against a big opponent like this. So it's going to be a really close, it could potentially go to 5 sets. There's no way to know, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see one of those games here tonight.
Well, according to our own admittedly biased RPI rankings, our computer is spitting out the toughness of schedule and who you play. We put all that in together, and then it kind of spits out where you are. This is not the official NAIA rankings, but SAGU is ranking up in the top 10. They're number 10 according to our computer model, and Oklahoma City comes in at 18. So these are two of the top teams, not only in their conference, but in the nation, and I expect a barn burner tonight. So we can see down on the court, they're going to the pregame festivities, so we're going to take you courtside right now to enjoy that, the prayer, national anthem, and starting lineups.
For spectators to abide by these values by creating a positive environment in which our athletes may participate, our officials may work, and you, the spectator, may enjoy. We hope you enjoy this contest. Please rise and remove your hats as we honor God in prayer. Then remain standing and face the flag as we honor our nation with the singing of the national anthem by SAGU student Eddie Perkins. Dear Lord, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for blessing us all to be here safely. Thank you for the beautiful weather that you gave us today. Thank you for letting us come here and enjoy this great sport of volleyball. I pray that all the players play hard and come out injury-free. And I pray that no matter the outcome, that they give all the glory to you in the end. And I pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proud twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watch, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Now, the starting lineups for the Stars. Number 2, Lacey Biller. Number 5, Isabel Harold. Number 10, Taylor Horton. Number 11, Marion. Number 15, Kennedy Burley. Number 18, Olivia Miller. And number 6, Lauren Hermes. Head coach Santiago Respiro and assistant coach Shannon Newman. Now the starting lineups for your SAGU Lady Lions. Number 2, Callie Shaw. Number 3, Madeline Hartline. Number 8, Sophia Ivy. Number 10, Nikki Albuquerque. Number 17, Suzanne Figueroa. Number 18, Jancy Akers. And number 7, Celie Boo. Head coach Hank Moore and assistant coach Nick Moore.
All right, there you have it, the starting lineups for tonight's match. Both teams looking very high in spirit, energetic, ready to play, maybe a little bit of nerves, as any big matchup would bring. Did you ever get nervous when you played big games or any game? Did you have butterflies?
I think, at the beginning of every match, it's healthy to have a little bit. I think, you got to be on your toes and be ready for anything, especially in a big match like this. You don't want to get caught on your heels physically or mentally. You want to really be ready to make explosive movements. We're going to have to see a lot of scrappy volleyball to make sure that we can get a lot of defensive plays up and get balls in motion to continue on with each rally.
And you just saw the standings. If we could get that up again, as you can see now, what we were talking about, it's knotted up at number 1. It's a three-way tie right now as far as the conference standings go. 3 teams at 4-0, SAGU, Oklahoma City, and Texas Wesleyan, although the overall records would come into play if the season were to end today, and SAGU would be number 1 with 11-1. 11-1, Devin, record. Oklahoma City bringing in 8-1, and of course, Texas Wesleyan has lost 4. But tonight we should have a guaranteed number 1. Big time block, it looked like, and if I butcher this name, I am so sorry, so I'm apologizing beforehand, but Mariana Jelleberg.
Good job.
It has a B in front of it. I think it's silent. But Jelleberg.
And we saw there that block coming from Oklahoma City went deep to the middle of the floor, and unfortunately, Celie Bruce for the Lady Lions, I think probably just a little confused, second-guessing where the ball was coming, let the ball fall in front of her. That's not something we see often coming from her.
And another kill by Mariana Jelleberg, 6'1" junior.
We've seen back-to-back in these 3 rallies a strong block, and we talked about that just based on the height of the Oklahoma City roster. And then we've seen that come into play here with their 3 strong blocks. And right there, Suzanne's got a good cross-court shot. That's going to be really important, especially for the Lady Lions going up against such a strong front line. They're going to have to get creative.
Yeah.
They're going to have to make sure they're hitting either in the block's hole or around, tooling off of the hands of the blockers, whatever it takes, or ace is
There you go. Suzanne with another point from her. She had the first kill, the first point kill, then an ace serve, and she serves again to the middle. Good block. Sophie Ivy.
Another block right
Jancy
there.
Akers. Sophie Ivy teaming up on the front.
And that's an especially impressive double block right there, because Oklahoma City went back outside to number 2, Beeler, and yet our block was still just as strong the second time.
Nikki Almaguer with the save. 3 ball block. Little joust. Too many hits. SAGU. And that's point OKCU.
You've already noticed in the short amount of time we've been playing how much action is happening in front of the 10-foot line. Obviously offensively, but defensively too. Coming off the block, the ball's falling short. So our front row on both sides of the net are going to have to be really active. And Callie Shaw there with a great first kill for her in this set down the line.
Callie Shaw opening it up with a little ghost pepper. I saw the defense rubbing their hands. Stung a little bit, didn't it? Great hit to the middle. Dig by Celie Bruce, but an errant kill. So does that go down as an error in hitting? It's a hitting error, right?
Yes, that is correct. A back row attack qualifies as an offensive attack.
Nikki Almaguer.
You see her, she's ready there. She goes up with a great swing, goes right into the block, but she's ready already defensively. Coach Moore does a great job of teaching. As soon as you make an offensive play, you have to switch your brain and your body to defense. And that right there, Nikki, was a great example of why that's so important.
Yeah, and Callie Shaw went up, almost tipped that ball, other than it was hit a little too wide. Went out of bounds, of course. Great defense. Madeline Hartline in the middle. Sophie Ivy with the dig. Set by the libero, Celie Bruce. Very nice placement. I believe that was number 4, Ella Lofton.
And you saw that go straight cross court. It went over the block a little bit. So our back row defense, that's a moment where they have to cross in front of each other. We didn't see a lot of that movement there, and the ball hit on the floor right in between them.
Yep. Mealer. And that was tipped. I think that was Callie Shaw with the kill credit. We're seeing a lot of rotation, newer players, bench players coming in. Callie Shaw with the dig. Suzanne. Looked like the referees had to confer eye to eye on that one to make sure OKCU touched the ball. OKCU has a little bit to say about that, but they're going to give it up. No more protest. Great hit, number 2, Lacey Beeler.
And you saw Madeline Hartline there for the Lady Lions up for a solo block. That's pretty difficult to do, but that's more commonly seen when the attack is coming from the back row. So Beeler went up really strong on the back row, saw that there was a single block, and took advantage of that. And you can see 7-7 here in set number 1. It's going to be like this most of the match. And Suzanne pulling away there. Another great cross-court shot and a great example, again, of utilizing the block to their advantage. Both sides of the floor are going to have to do that tonight.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're scouting that if you're a coach and you've been able to watch the tape, but she does such a great job with her placement. There's not much you can do, even if you know what she's going to do. She's just fitting it in, threading the needle per se. Great dig. She took a little bit off there. It looked like a changeup. Didn't really swing hard, and it caught the defense off guard just a little bit. Kill Suzanne. Not kill Suzanne, but
right.
Kill by Suzanne.
And a great solo
Jetsy
block.
Anchors. Huge block in the middle.
For a freshman.
Coach Moore has assembled just an absolute killer roster of freshmen this year.
A lot of great defense we're seeing on both sides.
And I think that's to be expected. Great teams got it. They
Great play by Shaw.
Are you kidding me? They lost the point though, but Callie Shaw risked maybe not life but limbs. Look at that dive to keep it in play one-handed. Oh my goodness, Callie Shaw setting the tone, letting her teammates know this game is huge. Great defense there just to keep the ball in play by OKCU. Miller bringing her own hot sauce to the court today.
And you saw there a bit of a change-up by the Lady Lions offense. We had Akers and Mueller going up at the same time in an effort to confuse the OCU defense. And from our angle, it was hard to tell where Ivy was going to set that, which is obviously the point. Both offensive hitters, are going at the same time, so Ivy can pick at the last minute where she wants to go, and right there work to the Lady Lions' advantage.
But Jelliberg, the good hit to the middle, to the backside. Great defense, but not enough. Point SAGU Lady Lions. That kill gets registered to Suzanne. And I'm going to try it, Devin. I'm going to try it. You can shut me down if I don't get this one right. But Figueiredo.
I don't think so.
Come on! I think I was close. I don't know if you saw the SAGU Sports update, but Matt Williams did a great job pronouncing it. And I feel like if he could do it, surely I could do it.
Well, as we take a timeout here, this is the biggest spread we've seen point-wise between the two teams, a 4-point difference here. OCU is down, and they're the ones that called the timeout. So you can see the frustration in the coach, obviously. Some silly mistakes made, balls that are dropping off the block. We should have coverage there for OCU, and they just haven't quite had that. And all that means for them is that they have to clean up their game a little bit. They obviously can play at a really high level, but they just have to make sure that they're ready for anything that's coming off of a block, because as we've seen, that really changes up the speed and the direction of the ball every single time.
So far, I have seen 9 SAGU Lady Lions in rotation at some point or another. And I'm not as familiar with the OKCU team, but it doesn't look like they're rotating quite as many in. If you could keep a little eye out for that, that could be a talking point later on.
What might happen in matches like this, it's pretty common when you have 1 point and then a change of serve. It's a typical, you can run out of subs at the end of the match, which gets tricky as a coach, especially in such a high-intensity game like this. So Coach Moore is going to have to be closely watching his substitutions because if we get to the end and he has none, then whoever's on the floor has to stay no matter what position they play.
That last point was a hitting error on Suzanne. She brings this hot sauce one more time. And she is really placing that off of the front line well. I think that's the third one. Great angles, great angles. She's seeing it greatly tonight. Great hit by Bajela.
You saw a strong dig there by Almaguer, but unfortunately sent it back over to the other side of the floor. Ivy went up to try and tip it and joust at the net, but there was too strong. There was a double block against her. And a team like OCU, you're not going to be able to go up and tip into their block. They're going to shove it right back down.
Of course. It looked like, now it could be totally my ignorance here, but it looks like Jancy Eggers goes up, almost kind of a palm carry. Is that a thing, or is that just, that's just a hit? If you can get it like that, if you can get that high on it, you can hit it like that.
Yeah, it's considered an open-handed tip, and a lot of referees, it's open to interpretation. Some might have called that a carry, which is illegal.
So a carry is a call?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but in that case, you could tell Akers was going up and saw that she could tool off of the outside hitter's outside hand, which is exactly what she did to get that point.
Gotcha. Yeah, in basketball, we would have called that, old school would call it palming. They call it a carry more modernly.
Great defense by Almaguer.
Oh, great defense by both teams. Big hit! Bajela. Kelly Shaw showing a lot of emotion out on the court. Huge hit. Great defense. It just happens to go out of bounds. Point, SAGU Lady Lions. It is tight. 15-12. The energy in the building is very high.
And now that Lady Lions are at 15, it's going to be a race to 20. Both teams are doing that 5-point race. So OCU feels a little bit more pressure now because SAGU has gotten to that 15-point mark first.
Good hit. That's number 4. Nope. That's SAGU's number 4. Actually, OKCU's number 4 is Ella Lofton. Great hit by Ella Lofton. Served by number 12, Sophia Sadek. And again, Ella Lofton finds the weakness in the SAGU Lady Lions defense. Well placed back left corner shot. Mealer. Callie Shaw with the dig. Sophie Ivy. Callie Shaw with a little bit of sneakiness. Great hit again. Ella Lofton. Just a sophomore. Outside hitter standing in at 5'8", doing great work for OKCU.
Now we've seen OCU on a 3-point run here, and so the game is tied now, a 4-point run as the Lady Lions touch the ball and shank it out of bounds. So the Lady Stars now have a lead here, 16-15 in set number 1.
At what point do you think Coach Moore is thinking about a timeout? You got a 4-point run. Is there a point total that you go, okay, we can't have them go this far and we got to call a timeout?
I'd be surprised if he doesn't call it next point. But see here, the Lady Lions are
Suzanne
able.
now knot it back up. Is he trying to save them for later? Is that a thing?
He gets a clean slate every set, so if he doesn't use his 2 timeouts, they don't roll over. But
would you rather? Are you thinking I would rather use my timeouts after 20?
Yeah.
Great dig, Callie Shaw. They bump it up. Suzanne gets maybe just a little lucky there. A good hit, but bad defense. Just a defensive error there. That's kind of rare.
You always want to give your team the opportunity to make it up for themselves. And we see there with the kill block set by Madeline Hartline, a great example of a team that is pulling themselves out of the hole. And we've looks like a little bit of confusion here.
We thought the R2 signified, he's saying my bad, he signified a timeout, and then OKCU says, no, we weren't calling a timeout, we're just rotating.
So the Lady Lions have shown a great kill there by 18 Olivia Nutter for OCU.
Yeah, and I'm no volleyball expert, but I know that play. That is the classic slide play, well executed.
Yeah. Great dig by Bruce. High intensity rally. Again off the block.
Some heat there from Suzanne. Big time swat on the ball, and it deflects off the defense just like you want it to.
And we're going to see a point-by-point fight here as OCU calls their second timeout of set number 1. So Coach Moore has, he is always one to gamble on his team pulling themselves out of a rut like they were in. And that's why, honestly, he's got such a strong team. He has leaders on the floor that can handle turning the team around without him needing to get involved. And we saw that they were up 15-13, and then OCU came back 4-point run, and that would have been a point where you think, okay, I'm going to call timeout. But the Lady Lions were able to pull themselves out of the hole on their own, and so now we're up here 19-17 SAGU, and OCU's calling a second timeout instead. So volleyball can just switch so quickly. It's such a fast-paced game, and momentum can shift from side to side at any point.
One of the most exciting things I find about volleyball is the fact that there's a point every time there's a serve, and that makes it a lot of fun. Spoke with Coach Hank Moore this week, and he is just so confident, over the moon with this team. Loves that his seniors are bringing excellent leadership, and really loves the chemistry that's being built right now with this team. A lot of new faces, some faces that are still young and maybe only their second year, but just a few seniors and juniors, and they're bringing great leadership. He's very excited about that. Wow. That was one of those heaters from OKCU. Callie Shaw digs it out, but it goes over the net as though she set number 2, Lacey Beeler, and she just killed it.
We call that a happy birthday.
That's right. If it wasn't so expensive, we would just play the song every time that happened. I got to see the replay on that. It was a little bit out of my eye. Looked very close. Great set by Sophie Ivy. And Mealer just crushes it, and it bounces out of bounds. Or deflected out of bounds. 2-point game. Let me tell you something. Lacey Beeler bringing her own hot sauce. A little habanero special right there. That was some smoke coming off of that ball.
She takes advantage of that hole in the block. You saw it go just to the left of Shaw for the Lady Lions, and a great use of that block.
Great hit there by Jellibrick. And if I'm saying that wrong, I got to just say, if I'm saying that wrong, you guys give me the phonetic. Tweet at us at SAGU Sports Net or Facebook, SAGU Sports Network. Let me know how to say it. But I'm going to keep saying it until somebody corrects me.
At least we all know who you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I interrupted a great thought. I'm sure you had some fine wisdom there to give us.
Well, all I'm going to say is we have a point-by-point, even more so now when we're in the last 5 points of the set. So you have to play error-free volleyball here, and we see as OCU now ties it up again. The point before that point just now, Lacey Beeler goes up and hits the ball in the net. That's the kind of thing that neither team can afford, especially when we're post 20 points in the set. Because obviously both teams are playing at a high level, so you want to force the other team to make errors. You can't make silly ones on your own. Right.
Good analysis there. Great pickup, good defense. OKCU. Sophie Ivy trying to use a little bit of trickery. Nikki Almager with confidence from the 10-foot line delivers. It's 22-21. I don't know if you see it, Devin, but I see smoke just smoldering in the corners right now. I said it was going to be a barn burner. I see the smoke already. What was that?
That's a double contact on the setter. Another unforced error, and you see a lot of frustration on the side of OCU. You can't hit balls in the net or out of bounds. You can't make double contacts. You can't miss serves. And so far, we've seen OCU make 2 of those mistakes, and the Lady Lions are up by 2. That right there, a great kill down the line by number 4, Ella Lofton. That's the kind of thing you need to see at this point in the set. But unfortunately, the lead that the Lady Lions have is strongly in part because of those 2 errors by OCU.
Right, Ella Lofton just not giving it up, playing great volleyball. Wow! Kelly Shaw just swinging with a fierce vengeance. Game point right here. Sophie Ivy doing the service business. Great serve. Stalaby with the dig. Little light touch. That was a free ball by OKCU. Oh! Kelly Shaw bringing the heat to get the win. Game point 25-22, Lady Lions.
And that is a great example of why you never give up in a volleyball match. The Lady Lions were a little messy there about the 15-point mark when OCU was on that run. But again, they pulled themselves out of that rut on their own on the court, knew that they had to clean up the little things. And that's the fun part about volleyball is there are so many small moving parts and 6 people on the floor at a time. When you have those 6 people playing their own spots, covering their part of the floor, doing their part of the job, it all comes together to a beautiful set like we just saw. And OCU, unfortunately, there at the end, made a couple of silly unforced errors, and the Lady Lions were able to take advantage of that and not play down to that level and make errors on their own. But instead, they played at a high level, stayed aggressive, and swung away at every single ball, and were able to come away with that win.
Well, nobody in their right mind would turn down a win. So given that understanding, you're always glad to get the set, the game win. But it's the first set of a match that I think is anticipated to go probably the max distance. You know, you have the 2 top teams in the conference and 2 of the top teams in the nation right here. So just in anticipation, you're thinking, well, this could very well go. So you win the first. Is there any psychological effect to winning that first match where or how do you think when you see them in the huddle right now? Are they thinking, all right, now we won the first one, we can't blow it? Or do you just forget about the win and then just go like it's 0-0?
I think probably in a match like this that's so tightly contested, you almost have to come out in each set like it's the first one. So instead of thinking at best of 5, they're going to take it one set at a time and just think, okay, we have to win this set or it's over. And then that set's over and we're back out. Okay, we have to win this set or it's over. They have to play every single set like it's the deciding one. If you don't do that, then you run the risk of mentally getting relaxed and thinking that you have it in the bag, and you play unknowingly, maybe you play at a lower level.
Yeah, I had a soccer analyst tell me one time, it's one of the worst things that can happen to a soccer team is that they score early, because it's very easy for them to get into a psychological battle of just trying to keep the lead instead of actually playing aggressively. And a lot of times a team that's playing from behind plays more aggressive and then ultimately builds the momentum, and more times than not they come back and they end up winning.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if some of that actually kind of played out into a match play kind of setting like this. I'm sure, you know, they're feeling great and confident about getting a win on such a team as good as OKCU, especially on your home court.
Yeah, and you want to take advantage of that too. We're not saying, you know, you don't want to be excited about a great win of set number 1 like that. But the danger comes when you almost are too excited. So they have to be a healthy amount of excited, but also keep their level head and take a dose of reality that the team that they are taking on in set number 2 has more anger and frustration that they're going to channel and make those hits harder and the blocks harder to get past.
Well, we saw that the other night when the Lady Lions played Georgetown, and that team came out in set 3 and just blistered the Lady Lions. It looked out. It was called. The line judge calls it out. R2 confirms. First point, Lady Lions.
And you saw Shaw follow that ball all the way to the line. That's so important when you have balls that are so close to either the back line or the sideline. You have to follow it all the way there. Her foot was on the line, so she knew without a doubt that she could let that ball drop.
Wow. Lacey Beeler hits the ball very, very, very hard. She stands in at 6 foot tall too, so she's got a lot of assets. She can jump very high. She swings very hard.
And a little bit of an accidental play there for Akers. The net kind of worked in her favor there, but the Lady Lions will take that point nonetheless.
It's a great hit, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Wow, another hard hitter for Jelleberg. That hit the net pole. Just kidding. Antenna. That was in memory of our former play-by-play commentator, Adam Ferguson, used to call the antenna the net pole. Good defense. Free ball. Uh-oh.
Yeah, and right
was that
there,
a double contact?
It was. So we saw Suzanne send that free ball over, which, you know, you really can't do with a team like OCU. But in that instance, it was a little short, so they were hustling to it. Didn't quite get it right in the setter's hands for a double contact there. So the Lady Lions are lucky that it turned out that way, because a team like OCU is going to take a free ball and run a strong offensive play just like they should, just as they should, and the Lady Lions will do the same thing. But in that case, another unforced error on behalf of OCU.
Wow, that was close. Ruled out of bounds.
And it almost looks like
Let's see if we can see it here. It was a good hit. And yeah, it was well out.
Smart placement, though. A couple inches, and that would have been a kill.
Great defense, Callie Shaw. Almaguer gets the save. Free ball. Sealy Bruce. Punched, but blocked. Callie Shaw, Madeline Hartline. Building a wall in the front line.
And as we have a timeout here really early on by OCU, I was going to say even before this timeout, it seems as though mentally OCU is a little bit timid. They seem to be playing afraid almost. And that the easy sign to tell that is these unforced errors that we're seeing. A lot of simple free ball pass mistakes. The setter getting a double contact, hitting a ball in the net, letting a ball go long. Missing serves. They haven't missed any serves, but that would be another common sign of just a lack of mental focus. So, you see their coach pretty intently here, trying to get their focus back. Not too intense yet, because, he knows his team can play at a higher level than what they're exhibiting right now, but he's trying to catch it early on because there's a 3-point lead, and in set number 1, we didn't see a lead that strong until 12-8. So it was later on in the set, and so right now the Lady Lions are taking advantage of this almost mental breakdown that OCU is having, and they're pulling ahead. So it's a smart timeout to try and ice the serve. So Bruce, for the Lady Lions, this is a really, really pivotal serve for her to make as we return to set number 2.
Well, as all great coaches do, they recognized what their team's thinking, and just as you stated, wanted to get them out of the funk of negative thinking, getting them thinking the right way so that they can play as good as their potential will let them.
And you see there even a miscommunication, sending a free ball over. They had a strong set up right there. Madeline Hartline running a slide right to the middle of the floor. A great execution by Hartline. And that rally, you saw a lot of confusion on the side of OCU, sending free balls over when it should have been a strong attack. Again, that's just mental focus.
And that was touch. Great hit by Jelleberg. Touched by the Lady Lions. Point OKCU.
And as Salik steps back to serve, this is going to be a really important point of the set for her to,
And coach for Oklahoma City is protesting, thought it was a pancake. To be honest with you, from up here, it looked like it could have been a bad call by R1.
You see here, ref giving a yellow card, it looks like, to the coach of OCU. But quite honestly, I think that's a yellow card I would take too. You fight for your team, and
you better believe it. Yep. So does talk to us about how the refereeing works. What does a yellow card mean? Is there a red card? Is this similar to soccer?
Yeah, a yellow card really does nothing. I mean, it goes down in the book, but there are no repercussions for it. But if the coach were to have a true outburst that the referee feels is just out of control, then you call a red card and the coach is ejected from the gym. But honestly, a yellow card, just a warning to let the coach. Can you
get as many yellow cards as you want?
There's just one.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a warning sign. And that's the first missed serve we've seen of tonight. Sophia Ivy giving the Lady Stars another point here in set 2. But yeah, a yellow card, just a warning.
Well, in the replay, it also looked like the pancake was good. So Coach Santiago Restrepo rightfully fighting for that point. Callie Shaw. Is that double contact? I didn't see it. I just saw the steam coming off the ball after Lacey Beeler hit it, but it was well blocked as well by the Lady Lions.
The hard part about playing a game where you've got active referees in volleyball that hold so much power, really, as we have an error there by Ivy. Setting error a little too far outside.
I think that was, yep, Ivy.
Trying to get that ball back in system. She didn't have a lot to work with.
She was not her fault out of place, but the ball was out of place, so it was hard for her to get.
And there we see that ball truly did hit the floor. So that's the difference. You can see where, Pancake was nowhere close to the ball. And in volleyball, referees have a lot of power. And so you just have to do what is in your control. And some games, coaches feel like the referee in an ace almost. Oh, here we go.
There's a lift.
Some questionable calls here by the R1.
Yeah, look at this. She was closed fist. I don't know if that matters, but it looked like a good hit. But the R1 calling that a lift. Not a good hit?
Not a good call.
Not a good call. Well, we call it like it is here on the SAGU Sports Network.
But even with a referee on either side of the floor, because in home games we've had on the Lady Lions side referees that call questionable things for that team as well, and so you have to control what's in your control and take away the points that you can and not blame it on the referee, because the minute you start doing that, you lose.
Yeah, and it just, bad looks. Referees are not perfect. They're not going to get every single, especially when it comes down to very close judgment calls. They're not going to get them all right. You just hope they do. And over time, everybody, I think it all evens out.
And Suzanne there, you saw her try and reach up and use two hands to get that ball back in play, and unfortunately that falls just out of bounds. Really close there on the sideline.
Great hit. Suzanne is owning that front line angle.
And there's nobody there. You watch on that replay. She hits that strong cross court. You see how far number 4 is sucked in for OCU. She's got to pull back, especially with how many times Suzanne's hit that shot.
Yeah, you would think they're going to make that adjustment. Oh, good hit. Big time tip, but big hole in the middle of the SAGU side. They could not get to it.
And we are in set number 2, the same point spread that we had in set number 1. So it'll be interesting to see what happens from here on out as we are in the same position.
OKCU very capable of making big runs. We saw that with the 4-point run and a 3-point run in the first set. That was long.
You've got to take advantage of an unforced error like that if you're the Lady Lions. You want to keep the ball. You want to try and get as far ahead as you can. And unfortunately, Bruce misses the serve there. But we'll call it a wash. So we had an unforced error on the side of OCU and then an unforced error for Lady Lions. So now we're even. Still a 4-point spread, and anything's possible.
But that will keep the gray coming in strong for Coach Hank Moore. Unforced errors. Big time hit. Look. Let's see if we can see it here. It's going to be tough to tell. Ooh.
It's pretty close.
That looked like it was on the line, ladies and gentlemen. Timeout, OKCU.
So if you think about the point spread here, okay, we've got let's say, 3 questionable calls now.
That's 3 points.
On the side of OCU. So let's say that all 3 of those were supposed to be called in favor of OCU. Play the devil's advocate here.
Okay, yeah.
The score would still be 14-12. So,
But there is, as a former athlete myself, in the heat of the battle, I think there would be some argument there that there's momentum that comes with getting the good play, the pancake. We don't even know if they would have gotten it over, but if they would have gotten it over, that would have been a big win. Except, so as a coach, as a team, as a fan, you're always going to feel a little bit gypped, like not just the point, but maybe the potential points that come behind that.
Right, and it is a momentum shift, but there in itself at the same time, that's when you see the true maturity of a team. If you've got it coming against you, you've still got to be able to keep that momentum and excitement. And I think OCU has done that. They've kept fighting. They've done well and have fought point for point, and we haven't seen them fall too far back yet. So they're still fighting. They're not ready to give up, not even close, ready to give up yet.
Oh, no. I expect to see a great effort here, even in this set, not to let go and make a run. This team, well, unforced error is not going to help you get there, but it's a mark of a great team that when you can overcome adversities like that, questionable calls, and you don't let it get in your head, you've got something special going when you can overcome those type of adversities.
And the more unforced errors you see, the more you're able to recognize the mental state of a team. And you see, okay, here, so we've got a double contact called on Ivy. So the referee is calling those fair on both sides of the floor. So this is going to be a great opportunity for OCU, down only 5 points. That's a small momentum booster, but it's one nonetheless for them to take advantage of and fight, pick away at the lead the Lady Lions have.
Good set, great dig. Mealer with the set. Ivy to the middle of the court. Great hit. Number 5 coming up huge in that point for OCU. That's Isabel Harwell.
And right there, a missed serve. Especially at that point. It's such a pivotal point in the game when you have the opportunity to pick away at a lead. Another unforced error. I think OCU is just kind of in their own heads a little bit. They're making their game more complicated. They know how to play extremely smooth and clean volleyball, but for some reason they're not able to execute that right now.
Yeah, you're seeing on big hit, Lacey Beeler letting the Lady Lions know it too.
Had a lot of balls really close to that outside line in this match.
That actually looked long on the replay.
And Suzanne, there's that cross-court shot, just drilling away time and time again at both defensive players that sit in that front left spot. She's not afraid of either of them, and she's going to keep going back.
No, she took a little more center court approach there. She'd given them 4-5 with the close angle down the net line, and then went a little more center court. Tough set. And you'll see here on the replay, great block. I believe that block would get credited to Kennedy Bertling. Bad hit by Jancy Akers.
You saw her elbow was so low, it never got up high. Her arm was never fully extended. And especially on a quick set like that, you've got to have your full range of motion to swing hard and down. So she was swinging out too far already, sending the ball long. We've got a shank ball here for Suzanne right there for that point. And OCU is picking away at this lead. Now it's a 1-point game.
Well, we knew they had it in them to be able to make a run, overcome the adversity, causing Coach Hank Moore to call a timeout, maybe in some urgency sense, saying, wait a minute, we had this game, we were icing this game, and you guys are letting it slip away.
And in the same way, we've seen OCU make some mistakes where you think, well, they play at such a high level. Why would they make a mistake like that? And I've talked about how the mental focus is such a big part in that. We've seen the same thing happen here for the Lady Lions in these last couple of points. Suzanne is such a consistent player, both offensively and defensively, and she shanked that pass. So that's something we never see. Right there, a ball falls in front of Callie Shaw. We certainly never see that.
Right.
So Coach Moore is able to recognize that his team is struggling mentally there, and so that's why he takes advantage of the 2 timeouts that he has in this set. He's not going to let another point go by because he recognizes that he's got to get their team back mentally so that they can pull out set number 2.
No matter what sport that you're playing as a competitor, when you compete at any level, there is always going to be an ebb and flow to the whole match, whether it's basketball, football, soccer, volleyball, golf. Any competitive sport's going to have ups and downs, and the best teams are the ones that know how to navigate the psychological valleys and bring themselves up faster. Don't live in the valley. Recognize it and then make a focus change. Come back and do what you do best. Good serve, Nikki Almaguer.
A strong swing there by OCU.
Lacey Beeler.
That's what you want to see as a coach. We've got, that point for SAGU just 1 point ago, a net violation by OCU, but they come back with a strong offensive play there for a kill, and we're back at a 1-point lead.
Lacey Beeler ranks number 40 in Division I NAIA kills per game. I don't know how she could be that low. Surely that's a mistake. This young lady just has been killing it all night.
The touch there called by R1. The ball goes out of bounds, but there was a touch on the block.
That was close. Again, a judgment call by the referee. Things happen, especially when you're looking at Callie Shaw and Suzanne and Lacey Beeler and Bajilberg. They hit the ball so hard. It's nearly impossible to see. Remember, the referees do not have the luxury of slow motion replay like we do.
We saw a lot of things happen in that rally right there. Callie Shaw took advantage of a ball coming back over the net on first contact, but OCU is able to play defense, get it back up, and there a great swing. And we're now at a tie game here.
That's what great teams do. They find their way back. They've taken the lead once again, almost like Groundhog Day from set 1.
And the momentum, you can feel it in the gym. OCU, even though they've had some pretty rough calls by the referee, it's not phasing them. They're fighting each point, 1 point at a time. They want to take this.
Oh, great effort, great effort. OKCU keeps the ball in play. Wow, look at this defense. You didn't see the first hit, but that was a great hit just to get it back in play. Wow. This is what the Titans do. Slugfest. Right hook, left hook. It is now 21-20. Favor Lady Lions.
And that double contact call, that's a real momentum killer, an unforced error like that. We've seen it a lot in this set, but of course when you're fighting back at a lead and you're at the 20-point mark, it takes a lot out of you.
Good dig, Sealy Bruce. Set by Ivy. Free ball by Callie Shaw. Big block. Suzanne with the dig. Callie Shaw. I really couldn't even see it. She hit it so hard. Wow.
And they had that tiny gap there in the block of OCU. Shaw took advantage of that, hit the ball full speed, and when you've got that small gap in between the blocker's body and the net, the ball almost 100% of the time is going to fall down just like it did.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you didn't see that. I'll explain what just happened. Off of R1 there, which is out of bounds. That play, I don't think you can see, but it got, well, definitely not there, but originally it was dug out and it hit the basketball goal at the top, rolled back down. I want to ask you about that, Devin, after this play. Oh, miss hit. Suzanne tried to roll shot it over short, and it was way too short. (23-21). Good block. Sealy Bruce with the dig. Great defense. Callie Shaw. Questionable call. Oh, he hit the net hole. The antenna.
And it's hard to say if that was off of Shaw or off of the blocker. And again, the Lady Lions are just going to have to fight back from that here. So, see, Shaw's ready to do just that.
And let it go. I mean, the struggle is real on that volleyball court today. I know it's tough, and we're watching this and trying to keep our composure, but it's so good. I'm getting sucked right into it. I don't know what to say. Dig, Sealy Bruce. Shaw to the back line. Short. That's set number 2 goes to your Lady Lions. In a huge struggle, the second struggle in a row. All right, let's go back to a point. The ball was hit by the defense. It goes up real high, and in our gym, there are suspended goals at the top of the ceiling. You can't see them on the camera, but they're suspended at the top. And even then, in that shot, you still can't see it, but it goes up, the ball's out of play, but it's actually on a backboard. It rolls off the backboard back into play. So is anything on, when a ball hits the ceiling, is that just considered free space and it can hit?
So it's different for every gym that you play in because especially, you know, in college volleyball, high school, club volleyball, depending on where you are, ceiling height is going to be different, so you have to always adjust to if you play in a lower ceiling. What I've seen most often is a ball is playable if it hits off of any other equipment other than the ceiling. So in our case, we've got those suspended basketball goals here, and it can roll off of there. It can even kind of hang in limbo for a little bit, and that's equivalent to it kind of hanging on the top tape of the volleyball net. But if the ball were to hit the ceiling, so if a ball goes way, way too high off of a dig or a pass and hits the ceiling, then it's considered out of bounds. But again, that's different depending on what level you're playing or what location you're playing in, because obviously if you've got a really low ceiling, you have to make some exceptions for that.
Sure.
But more commonly, you're okay to play off of a basketball goal, but as soon as it starts getting tangled up in the ceiling, it's out of bounds.
Gotcha. Well, that was very interesting. I know it couldn't be seen on camera, but it was in our field of vision, and it was kind of funny. I like what would have happened if it would have gotten stuck up there.
Yeah, then you just have to do a replay.
It's a replay of the point.
Yep,
okay.
no point for either side, and you lose whatever momentum was going on in that rally. And in that instance, there was a ton of energy on the floor, so that would have been a buzzkill for sure.
Yeah, big time. That was a great set. Both sets have been good, but each progressing in its intensity. And what's a killer is to go the distance like that, be so close, and not walk away with a win. That is just a tremendous letdown, and I'm sure your psyche and confidence. And there you see Wayland Baptist playing John Brown University at at John Brown University. And looks like John Brown University is up 23-20. Second set. I'm not sure who won the first set. Oh, it says John Brown up 1-0. So JBU could get the second set right here with just 2 more points. John Brown, a very formidable foe in the Sooner Athletic Conference, not to be taken lightly at all. And I don't know, you really don't take any opponent in the Sooner Athletic Conference lightly. Anybody can beat anybody on a given night. Third set coming up. The ladies are taking the court. Looks like the referees are now throwing out the game ball. They're ready.
And the same danger still applies as after the first set. The Lady Lions could sit back and think, oh, okay, we can handle this. But OCU's coming back out ready to fight. It's best of 5 for a reason. Strong start there by Akers from the middle. A great swing. But as I was saying, it's, again, we've got to kind of consider this as the first set. You want to play it like it's the first set, but at the same time like it's the last.
Right. Jancy Akers, freshman, 5'11" middle hitter.
Really strong swing there by OCU. Man, we're seeing some really great things from the front line on both sides of the court.
Oh, yeah. I don't recall seeing this much smoke in the building ever. Amagur. Oh, great defense, OCU. Just a little too high there for the Stars. Great defense. I tell you, the Stars are playing just lights out defense. Wow, great block, but even a better pickup. Almaguer with the save. And a great dig effort by The Stars libero.
And like we've said, it's really easy to get sucked into the intensity of these rallies.
It is so intense.
Excuse my silence during a lot of these, but there's just so much intensity going on. It's hard to explain because both sides are bringing out so many good things. I want to talk about all of them.
I know it.
Great defense, like you said.
Oh, great hit. Jelliberg. Wow.
And you see again, it's a new set for OCU. So they ended set number 2 looking a little weak, but they're back out strong with a lot of intensity on their blocks, aggressive offensive plays. They're not ready to lay down. A little bit of confusion there, but
that was a great recognition by Suzanne to go to the back right corner.
The set was a little out of system, but Suzanne saw the opportunity to take the ball deep there. She looked at the floor, saw the opening, a sign, of a strong player. She's able to look at that and send the ball exactly where the hole is.
Well, that's what you expect out of seniors, and that was good senior leadership right there. Unforced error. Sophie Ivy. And she knows it. She said, sorry.
And Coach Moore always says, if you make an error like that, just give me a pass or give me a great set or a kill, and it's a wash. That's his way of getting you to mentally shake off an error. And he would say the same thing to Shaw there. She hits the ball long. The first error, I think, maybe she hit one in the net in set number 1, but we haven't seen a lot of hitting errors.
Not many. She's very, very solid today. Just great defense on the other side. Oh, blistered. Ella Lofton.
You see Brittany Stallherby there. She's in the right spot, but that, again, sometimes you just say good job and you move on. That's a great swing.
Yep. 3 straight points. 4 straight points by the Stars. This is where the Lady Lions got to hunker down mentally. This is where the Valley is. You don't want to give up more than 4 straight points.
You saw that substitution right there. Suzanne comes in at a questionable call there again. But
let's see if we can see it on the camera. Yes, definitely long. And line judge got it wrong, but R1 got it right. Oh, great recognition by setter. Number 10, Taylor Horton with the kill.
And that's what the Lady Lions are going to have to watch now that, we've recognized that OCU is running that 5-1 offense just like the Lady Lions do. But right there, their setter, she's got a strong left hand, and we saw it there. She's a real threat at the front line. She's able to go up and turn her shoulders and make an aggressive play, an out-of-system play that the defense of the Lady Lions clearly wasn't expecting. So now that she saw that could work, the Lady Lions are going to have to make sure that they play to cover that, or else it's going to happen time and time again.
Devin, I don't know if it's just me or maybe you feel this way, and don't know if the viewers at home or watching on the screen can feel it, but it just feels like right now every point is game point.
And that's exactly how you want it to be. It's physically exhausting, but that's why both coaches take so much time to focus on conditioning and physical strength. Because in a match like this, you don't want to have to think about, man, I'm so tired, I'm out of breath, I can't keep going. You want to have the physical stamina to put all of your focus in the strategy of the game, and it's obvious both teams have done that.
I don't see what happened.
So I think what may have happened is the whistle was blown for her to serve, and she threw it up and either caught the ball before serving it or threw it up and let it drop, which is illegal.
Okay.
Would be my only guess.
No outer rotation.
No. See there, OCU.
Double contact. Yeah, he saw it too.
Passionate about that, and the R1 is doing a good job of calling consistently.
Double contact.
Yeah, so we can rely on him for that. But you could see it took a second for him to make the call, and OCU was ready to contest it.
Yeah, well, he had made the call. Little joust there at the net, mini joust.
OCU seems to have adjusted their defense there.
Definitely adjusted the defense. Wow. Kelly Shaw bringing a legendary performance.
And that's a really strong point there. I was just looking at the scoreboard, realizing that the Lady Lions are down by 5, and they haven't been down by that many this entire match, and especially this early on in a set. Once you get in a deep hole like that, it's a lot harder to come back. So that was a really pivotal point for Shaw to be able to bring to the Lady Lions for them to get out of a deeper point deficit.
Good defense. Great wall there by the Stars. Not a great hit by Suzanne there.
And because every point feels like the last point of the match, you have to, on either side, when there's an error like that, the opposing team has to take advantage of that, and especially the Lady Lions at this point, they're down by 4. They've got to be able to pick away at this lead if they want a chance to win set 3.
Well, getting a free ball, you got to convert that. Can't just go free ball for free ball and then a hitting error. That's not how you're going to get back into it.
And that error right there by the Lady Lions, sending a free ball over out of bounds, is something that absolutely cannot happen in a match like this. So right there, a 4th contact. There was no touch on the block by OCU. So that's, again, the R1 has to watch that really closely. So as the Lady Lions are playing defense back up, it's illegal because there was no touch by the opposing team.
Gotcha. Shaw had to adjust. Couldn't make the strike. Came out of her normal position to hit the ball and had to just free ball, send it over.
And Coach Moore calls a timeout here, down by 7 points, and on either side of the court, this is the biggest lead that we've seen in this entire match.
We saw a similar in the last or a couple matches ago against Georgetown, which was highly ranked team, very, very good team, and they brought in the 3rd set after losing 2. And I guess that it's a little tricky, and back to the psychology of it, it's harder. You've won 2 now and really expended a lot of energy to come back for that 3rd and play with the same amount or even greater intensity, and that is tough to get that win. And Coach Moore's most likely telling his team in the huddle right now, well, this is the mark of what great teams do. This is the adversity. You're down 7 points. Make some goals, hit the goals. This is not impossible. Come back and get the win.
this is where it's important to realize that you just need to pick away point by point. And OCU is thinking the same thing. They know that the Lady Lions can come back and take a win from them, but they just want to focus on each point. You play each point like it's the last one, like you said.
And that kill goes to Jancy Akers. Great recognition there. Jellibook.
There you see a triple block on the side of the Lady Lions, so that's a great play by OCU to recognize that there's not going to be anybody at the 10-foot line because all three of them are at the net. So that's a really mature look there to see what your block looks like, and there's no way that the Lady Lions are going to be able to come back and get that ball up.
Great save, Amagur. Good try. They need a towel to wipe up a wet floor. Little cleanup duty by Suzanne.
See Shaw pulling the team together here, cheering them on, telling everyone to calm down, take a deep breath. They know they can do this, they just have to execute.
Jesse Akers again finding the little holes on the floor and getting it to where it needs to be.
And sometimes it's not going to be pretty, but you just want the point. So if it's a point, it doesn't matter.
Exactly, and she's made a killing in the last couple sets off of just being able to hit the open spots. Lady Lions could not get to that. A little slow. Their reaction time is not quite as quick as it was in this set as it was in the first two sets. And the Stars are exploiting it. The focus just is not there. You can see the Lady Lions are going to have to regroup themselves.
And you see Coach Moore just telling the girls to take a deep breath and relax. He knows exactly why they're making the errors that they are. It's all mental, so you just have to take a break, realize that you can come back, and honestly, quit looking at the scoreboard and just play point to point.
Yeah, just go out and play good volleyball. If they beat you when you're playing good volleyball, then they deserve to win. That's fine. Take your whooping and go get another set. Stop being scared.
And right here, we're either going to see the Lady Lions come back for this set or just let it end and, as they call it, double contact. We see OCU's coach a little bit frustrated there. This referee is calling him pretty tight tonight in this match, but we're going to see the Lady Lions either come back and fight point for point to take set number 3 or consider this a wash and we go to set 4 and still have an opportunity for either team to take the game away.
So I guess they explain this to us. The coaches can't talk directly to the referees.
They're not supposed to. They're supposed to go through. You see the team captains there talking, and it's the R2 that's down on the floor is the one that the coaches are supposed to converse with more. Some R1s that are up at the net, they, don't really care if the coaches are yelling at them. They recognize that some get frustrated, but some of them hold really closely to the book that you're not even supposed to direct anything at me. It's supposed to come through your captain. And it looks like this R1 is one of those old-fashioned that's going to hold really tightly to that.
He did issue a yellow card, but nobody seemed to know who the yellow card was on. Great defensive wall there. The Stars are aligning right now. Yes, that pun was intended. They're playing great volleyball, Devin.
And the point deficit here is just astounding, really, what we've seen in the first 2 sets. The Stars have really taken advantage of the weakness of the Lady Lions in this 3rd set.
Absolutely.
But then we see bright shining moments like that for Mueller, number 4.
You got to bring in a freshman.
Yep.
And Coach Moore has freshmen to go to on that bench that will say, I want to play.
And the difference in the 2 teams here is they both have shining moments like that, but the Stars take advantage of that and use it for a run. The Lady Lions haven't been able to do that quite yet.
Great hit. I'm telling you what, Ella Lofton has brought her A game to the Schaefer Center tonight. Doing a lot of great things for her team. We knew it was coming. It was just kind of, when was it going to happen? And at this point, I think you kind of got to bow out and concede. All right, you won this. We're going to go back to the huddle. We're going to make adjustments. We're going to regroup. And, no competitor ever wants to be accused of giving up. And it's not as much of a matter of giving up because it's a match. It's just a set within a match. You're not giving up on the match. Sometimes you got to learn, when to let go and don't expend all your energy.
And it looks like the best thing for the Lady Lions at this point is going to be a change of scenery. For this set to be over, for them to move to the other side of the floor, have a fresh start, so to speak, especially if we have a missed serve right there, something we've only seen maybe 1 or 2 other times in this entire match. You're not going to want to have those as we move into set number 4. But nope. I think you're right. They're not giving up, obviously. You see the Lady Lions there still swinging away, trying as best they can. And granted, we have seen comebacks with this big of a point deficit before, so anything is possible. But against a team like as good as the Stars, it would just have to be a total meltdown. I think you can have the best of both worlds. The Lady Lions can fight, and it can be obvious that they're not just laying down and giving up and making errors on purpose, but they can still save their energy for set number 4.
Great block, Nancy Akers, still playing very hard. And one of the luxuries that Coach Moore has now is a much deeper bench. Big time hit, Lacey Beeler. High riser, her vertical is just enormous. That defense, good gracious. The defense from the Stars is, they're going after everything. Everything. Nothing's off limits. Sacrificing everything. Great defense, Lady Lions. Good win by the Stars. And that brings us to 2 sets to 1. Favor the Lady Lions on their home court here at the Schaefer Center. We knew it was going to be a barn burner, and the fire has been lit. 3 sets have been played. The Stars are on a train, a comeback train. trying to make great things happen, and they just did in that third set. Very interesting to see. That puts a lot of pressure back on the Lady Lions to come out and perform. That definitely, the third set for the Lady Lions was not their best potential. You saw a lack of focus, lack of energy at the beginning and on the onset, and the Stars were just pulling away, just kept pulling away, doubling the lead, and took a lot of the momentum out of what the Lady Lions had been doing in the previous two sets. Let's see if the Lady Lions can come back and get the focus back, get the energy back in the room, and do something big and beat the OKCU Stars.
And now the Lady Lions, even though they're up 2-1, if you're in the gym or even if you're watching the broadcast, you can tell the momentum is in favor of the Stars. I mean, that was a huge set for them. They had a much higher lead as far as point differential goes than the Lady Lions ever had at any point in set 1 or 2. So they have a lot of momentum on their side of the floor, and they have nothing to lose here because they're going to put it all out. They're going to play like this is their absolute last one, and they are going to give everything they have. And if they, can't pull away from it, then they're going to at least give everything that they had. But the Lady Lions here have something to lose. They've got a set to lose.
Well, JBU is doing a lot of work in Arkansas on their home court, but in set 3, they're trying to, it looks like it's knotted up. Well, 17-17, JBU up 2-0. Wayland Baptist just goes ahead with that point. They're fighting for their lives in this match. Wayland celebrating another point.
The real indicator here as we get ready to start set number 4, as you could tell in set 3, the lead for OCU started right at the beginning. They were up by 5 points, 10-5, when Coach Moore called his first timeout. So a big indicator of how this set is going to go, I really believe, is going to be in these first couple of points. As we see if the Lady Lions are able to shake that off. Their demeanor on the floor now looks like they have. They are, still communicating as a team, having fun. They're ready to play. So if they can keep OCU from pulling that lead like they had in set 3, then I think they have a strong chance. In the same vein, if OCU can pull away with a strong lead like that, then the Lady Lions are going to have an even harder time coming back from a deficit like that.
Well, this 4th set, we can officially call it the business meeting. There's going to be a lot of business, some serious business in this set. Expect a nail biter. Little fake out there, but Callie Shaw went up big, but delivered the change-up. That was a lot of effort on both sides of the court just for 1 point.
And that's exactly what you want to see there by Shaw. That off speed, she's trying to throw off the defense, and it was a great execution. But right there, OCU comes back with intense defense. But the Lady Lions are back and ready to fight with their frontline defense. The blocks, the strategic hits that we've seen just in these first 2 points by the Lady Lions shows that they're ready to go.
Yeah, but it's still great defense by the Stars. It's swarming. It's incredible because they get tight. Somehow they know who is supposed to get what, and they're always there, right there. Big wall, 11 and 15. Nikki Almaguer mistimes her jump, gets a little too much on top of the ball, hits it directly in the net. Not what you want. You're trying to make a run. Joust. Lady Lions, great push. Almaguer with the dig. Lack of communication.
Plays like that, we're gonna have to clean up. If the Lady Lions want to take a shot at this match, they're gonna have to communicate better than that. A lot of scrappy defense, which is good, and as we see a misserve by OCU, again, on both sides of the court. Miscommunications where balls are hitting the floor or serves are going in the net. We can't afford that on either side.
That was Lacey Beeler with the service error. Not something you would expect to see from her. Ooh, dropped it in. No defense by the Lady Lions. Ella Lofton just doing surgery. And another hitting error by Almaguer.
I think that was actually a double contact.
Okay, so before maybe Almaguer knew it. And another double contact. Is that a fatigue thing? Does double contact come with being tired?
The most common cause of it is when the setter isn't able to get their feet set in time. We see a lot of mental errors happening here on both sides of the court. But yeah, when a setter can't hustle and get their feet set and their hips aren't square to the direction they're sending the ball, that's when you will most commonly see a double contact. So fatigue plays a huge role.
Callie Shaw with more of a softball approach, trying to find the open space, but with this Stars defense, there's just no open spaces, especially in the middle. And I think you're just going to have to attack and swing hard, hope for the best, get them out of place. Big hit, Jelleberg. Wow! Callie Shaw finding the angle and then putting a little jalapeno.
And the placement of that swing right there in between two defenders, that's one that you just have to salute and say good job, because that placement shows that she was able to find the hole in the block and swing through and fall in between the defenders. So that's just great placement on her part.
Callie Shaw going with it, a little more attack, and Ella Lofton finding another open line on the court, not even contested by the Lady Lions.
And that ball was hit clear over the block. So Lofton was up high enough in the air to make that contact and swing the ball through and down on the floor on the side of the Lady Lions.
The elevation, the vertical, huge. Stalaby comes in for as a substitution, commits a quick error, and now out. Woo! Let's see if we can see it. This is a big, that looked on the line. Yep, looked on the line. Another slide play, deflected. Oh, great block. Goes back, it was going to be in. Was in.
and that you're always supposed to have a defensive player back in the deep part of the court, and it looked like all of the Lady Lions got a little too sucked in because they've had a lot of blocks hit around the 10-foot line, but there you got caught being too sucked in, so there was nobody deep enough to cover that last play.
Recognition went deep with it. Sophie Ivy did. The Lady Lions defense just looking a little bit timid from these hard hit balls hit by Beeler and Bajelaberg.
See OCU pulling away here now, a 4-point lead, a similar score to what we saw in set number 3, them picking away point by point, and the Lady Lions struggling to get anything past their block.
Great hit to recognize she could go over the block, and that's kind of how you got to do it. Keep them honest. If they're going to come up, build a big wall in front of you, just go right over them. Perfectly placed
and
strike.
Sometimes if you can't get past the strong block like that, then you've got to just do something that looks easy but is going to throw off the defense.
Lacey Beeler, just dynamite cannon. Mueller with a big hit. Big block. Stars reacting very quickly. Just a little bit quicker than the Lady Lions to get to each ball there in the open part of the court. Lady Lions are going to have to dig deep and get some quickness about them.
And you see here this timeout's called at a 5-point spread. The Lady Lions are finding themselves in a similar position that they did in set number 3, where OCU is pulling away, getting a bigger and bigger lead. And it's not, you know, there haven't been as many silly errors, I don't think, on behalf of the Lady Lions this time. But OCU is just fighting really, really hard, and they're playing really strong defense with their blocks on the front line. And the Lady Lions have done a pretty good job of recovering those, but unfortunately the lead is now again back to a strong 5-point spread. So Coach Moore is recognizing what happened in set 3, and he's trying to stop that as soon as he can.
Well, the barn is on fire. The Stars are trying to come into the Schaefer Center and burn it down. Lady Lions are showing a little bit of weakness. Big time hit, and looked like Mueller was running the old trickaboo play, falling down, distracting, while Jancy Akers goes for the death attack through the middle. It worked. Big hit. Big hit again. Even bigger. This is exactly what Coach Moore was designing up in the last huddle.
You can see how much they utilize both Shaw and Suzanne when they're on the back row, especially. When there's an out-of-system play, it's so nice for the setter to have someone on the back row they can rely on. And we've seen that time and time again in these last plays where Sophia will send the ball to Shaw and she will put the ball away from
Joust, happy birthday! Was it in?
Yep.
The refs call it in. Happy birthday conversion, as you would say.
there, serves for the ace. And if you're Coach Moore right now, you're feeling really good, forcing OCU to call a timeout. If you remember, when Coach Moore called a timeout, they were down 8-13. So SAGU is now on a 4-point run, only down by 1 point, forcing OCU to call a timeout. So you can tell that they're feeling the difference in the Lady Lions volleyball that they're bringing out after that timeout. The momentum has shifted, and now it's anyone's game again.
There's a lot of excitement in the air, a lot of energy. Very fun place to be, the Schaefer Center tonight. Talking like Yoda, and I don't know why. See Judah the Lion out on the court, trying to bring a little pep to the jungle. This crowd is excited.
Crucial point for Almaguer. She steps back to serve. That timeout was meant to ace her to get OCU the ball back, and she comes out strong with a good serve.
Shaw with the dig. Hard hit from the 10-foot line. Almaguer with the dig. Shaw to set Almaguer. Almaguer gets it to the middle. Out of system play. Free ball. Here we go. Akers. No good.
You saw Ivy, she had a tough decision to make there. They sent the free ball to her on purpose, knowing that she's their setter in the front right corner of the court. So they sent that there to make her decide, do I set it up or do I put it to the libero to set it up? And right there great swing by Almaguer. Interrupted myself. A great kill there by Almaguer. But the strategy there for OCU, sending that free ball to Ivy. And
it's a good strategy, yeah.
Yeah, Ivy decided to set it up, and unfortunately Akers wasn't able to deliver, but that's a tough call for her to make as a setter.
Yeah, and that's, unforced error on service. That's why we have you here giving us the expertise, knowledge, and wisdom. I would have never thought of that. Bad set. Got to get a grip here. Coach Moore off the bench talking to his setter.
And the point spread is now back pretty strong 4 points, and we're getting closer to that 20-point mark with each point scored.
Block chipped up. Free ball. Lady Lions making it too easy for the Stars, but two great blocks. The defense from the Stars. Great hit, Jancy Akers.
So many great things about that play.
Too many. Oh, just so many.
And you saw the OCU attempt again at sending a free ball to Sophia Ivy there in the front row. And instead of making a mistake like she did last time, she went up and aggressively hit it. And a kill block again by Sean Hardline there, deep in the court. The momentum is obviously on the side of the Lady Lions here as we're only down to a 2-point lead by OCU.
Some great blocks coming up. A little poke over the net. Callie Shaw trying to kill it. Eric hit. Not many times will you see Ella Lofton hit it that badly. 1 point separates these two teams.
And I think now more than ever, it feels like each point really is the last based on the cheering of the crowd and the excitement from the bench. You can see this.
Big time!
Great swing. Using the block to her favor. And you can hear it here, even we're sitting up above the gym, but you can hear the cheers so loud from down, and with all the fans excited for how this set is going, forcing OCU to take their second timeout here in set 4, tie game 17-17.
And it's 17-17, but that is their last timeout, so no more timeouts for OCU from this point on. But that's how important Coach Santiago Restrepo thinks this is to get this back. It's a 4-point run by the Lady Lions, and he's got to get some kind of order out of the chaos. And it's time that the Stars step in, refocus, and try to win this game because their match life is on the line right now.
And Coach Moore has one more timeout that he can use in this set. So if something goes bad here and for some reason OCU is able to pull ahead a strong lead and it's not neck and neck throughout the entire set, Coach Moore has that to his advantage. So he's got that up his sleeve, and that's why he strategically tries to let his team pull themselves out of the deficit early on, so that in a time like this, when the match, like you said, is on the line, he's got a timeout up his sleeve to be able to pull out and hopefully get his team back ahead.
Well, at this point, it's an 8-point game. Great hit, Callie Shaw coming up big for her Lady Lions team. 5 straight points, Lady Lions.
You see Coach Moore sitting on the bench there. His fists are clenched. You know, he's not up and relaxed. You can see he feels the tension and the intensity of this moment too.
Wow, what a great placement. Beeler. Wow, just a great strike there. Ends up being a pretty good play by Sophie Ivy to get the free ball. Got players all over the floor. Can they get up? Make something of it. The Lions, Callie Shaw, bringing the heat.
Oh, I got the chills watching that one.
Every player from both teams playing on that court, that point, I think, hit the ground at some point. Good hit, Ella Lofton. Bringing it back to a tie, 19-19. Now, basically, you just got a 6-point match set going on right here.
And at this point, you really do want to play like every point is your last. You don't want to give any opportunity for them to catch you on your heels as Shaw runs from the middle for the Lady Lions to be the first to 20 here in set number 4.
Callie Shaw just putting the team on her back. Really wanting to get this win. You can see and sense how important it is. Out of bounds. Beeler trying to go down the line. Goes wide left. She hits it extremely hard.
And right here you would see OCU probably calling another timeout if they had one, but unfortunately they're down.
Great look. Smart play by the setter, Taylor Horton.
And you can see the strength and confidence she has as a left-handed setter playing on the front row. She has no second thoughts about going up and hitting that ball, which in this case works to their advantage.
Free ball. Uh-oh. Too many hits. Point, Lady Lions. It is 22-20.
And I don't know about you, but in that set, it didn't look like Mueller was going to make it. She was reaching.
Barely. She extended every inch in her fingertips to get that. Big hit. Miss Lacey Beeler.
And now the Lady Lions just have to take a deep breath here. They've got it, a 1-point lead, which at this point in the match is huge, but they can't relax. They've got to play every single point with high intensity and put the ball away. Here's Suzanne for a cross-court shot recovered.
The Stars defense is just incredible. 23-21. The house is on fire. Somebody call the fire department. This is a 5-alarm fire, ladies and gentlemen, in the Schaefer Center. Right now, the barn is burning. Big hit. They're going to their go-to. Lacey Beeler just putting the Stars on her back, willing them to not die. 23-22. Out of bounds. Beeler makes a mistake. Rarely does she make a mistake.
And that is what a tough point in the match. Now we're at match and set point for the Lady Lions here for an error like that to be made.
Great block. Kelly Shaw brought the heat. The block went straight down. 23-24. Again, could be match set point. The Stars serving. Libero. Oh, and it was touched. Beeler went for it. It was going out of bounds. She touched it. The Lady Lions are the victors tonight in the Schaefer Center. What an epic match. It was everything we thought it was going to be, Devin. Am I right or am I right?
You're right, and I think there is absolutely no question that Callie Shaw would be the MVP there, especially in set number 4. You said it best. She wore the team on her back there. They kept feeding her the ball, which why not? If she's on fire like that, Ivy kept feeding her the ball. She kept putting it away. She had some truly game-changing points made there for the Lady Lions. And the great thing about her, she's so fun to watch because she is great at the game. She knows where to place the ball. She's aggressive and can swing away, but she just has fun. She doesn't let herself get too puffed up. She just wants to play the game. She gets out there and has a good time, and it shows in how the team responds to her.
And there you see two of the nation's best women's volleyball clubs on the court saying an end of the match prayer. OCU, I think, goes to Texas Wesleyan tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon and plays another tough one. Now, as of right now, you see the volleyball standings for the Sooner Athletic Conference, and SAGU sits at number 1 by themselves, with Texas Wesleyan technically a half game back because they haven't got as many wins, although they have not lost. It's going to be a tough match for OKCU tomorrow night in Fort Worth. We have Kristen Urban, our sideline reporter, down on the court with tonight's MVP, Callie Shaw. Kristen, what does Callie got to say for herself?
Thanks, Sean. Callie, SAGU brought down one of the top teams in the conference tonight. How were you and the team able to do it?
I mean, just like the other games, Coach had us prepared on the numbers and their lineups.
I mean, we had a huge target on them. You know, we tied with them last year for conference champions. Like, we really, really wanted it. So we just came out there and gave it our all. And it paid off, so. Thanks, Callie, and congratulations. Back to you, John and Devin.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Callie Shaw. You were awesome tonight. Such a great leader. What a fantastic game. Coach Moore has got to be just absolutely high in the sky, excited about what this team can do, beating such a great club like OKCU. I mean, just notoriously, they're always good. Got a great coach, and being able to pull off a win at this point in the season, still undefeated in the conference. I mean, what does that mean, being when you just riding this wave at this point in the season? How do you maintain that? How does that not negatively psychologically affect you?
I think it works the same way as what we talked about with having either a 1-set lead or a 2-set lead going into each set in a match. The same rule applies. I mean, the Lady Lions have had a pretty tough schedule, based on what we've seen them play here early on in the season. And so they have, had some great wins, but they still don't sit back and just relax and not try harder. They come out ready to play every single time. So as they have a huge win like that, they're going to have to take a good night's rest tonight, come out ready to play whoever it is tomorrow, whoever it is the next day. It doesn't really matter. They come out mentally ready to give their best. And that's the team that Coach Moore has coached that way, to play every game your best. And, he always says, just like the Bible says, you do everything unto the Lord. And that's what he tells his players. You do that. You play the game that way.
Absolutely.
So that you're consistent every single time. You don't sink down to your opponent. But at the same time, when they come out ready to fight, you're right there with them.
Tonight, both teams look like titans, gladiators out there. I mean, that was just enjoyable to watch. That was so much fun. Hope you had as much fun as we did. Maybe we didn't, or me, didn't butcher too many names badly. Please forgive me if I did. But tomorrow we'll be right back here in the Schaefer Center with another home game against Southwestern Christian University, again from Oklahoma. And it's a doubleheader. You'll see at 4, the Lions face off with the Eagles of Oklahoma Wesleyan. That is, I think, the last non-conference game in the season. So that'll be that will be an out-of-conference game, but it will be the last out-of-conference game for the rest of this season. And that will be an interesting game as well. Neither one of those teams are at cakewalk. Matter of fact, Southwestern Christian University took Oklahoma City University to 5 sets. And that was up in Oklahoma City at the Stars Auditorium there, where OKCU actually pulled it off in 5 sets. So it's going to be a great one tomorrow. We hope that you will either come and enjoy this event live and in person, but if you can't be here to cheer on your Lady Lions, be sure to tune in to the SAGU Sports Network. We will be here along with my partner Devin Webb and sideline reporter Kristen Urban to give you the best that we have. It should be a lot of fun. Until tomorrow, may God richly bless you. Good night.